Hello everyone, how are you all? And today we are going to see what is the power of repetition. Now, repetition basically means when something is repeated many times or multiple times, and its power rests in its simplicity. Simplicity in the sense that when we hear something multiple times, then we are able to retain it, understand it, and move with it. So that is repetition, and we all know that repetition can be monotonous, can be boring, but it is required since language learning, language fluency, language capabilities, or the caliber to speak any language can be tough. Learning a new language can be challenging, it can be time consuming, it may require you to spend extra hours. So, in accordance to attain certain fluency, we all need to understand right techniques or right procedures which can help us to understand the language or speak a particular language, and one of them is repetition. Whether it's repeating any word, whether it's repeating any slang, whether it's repeating the pronunciation, whether it's repeating any sentence. I repeat, whatever is repeated multiple times gets ingrained in our brain, and our life functions in accordance with that. It's said that we should always repeat positive things so that positive activities or positive vibrations get attracted to us. Repetition is recognized as effective learning technique, and according to neuroscientists, repetition helps us to inculcate new habits, new patterns, unlearn the learned concepts, and then move forward. Repetition can really help you to gain consistency, to gain fluency, or to just know any particular language. Just like we practice other subjects in consistent manner, consistency also means repetition of a particular activity. So just like we are doing this activity, the same way we have to be consistent, or I could say we have to indulge in the game of repetition if we want to move forward. Now, whenever we encounter new information, our brain tries to store it inside our mind. When the brain is storing information, it's trying to form a long-term memory, which is called as encoding. Now, the process of encoding is storing information which will help you to retrieve the information. There have been numerous scientific studies which reinforce the power of repetition. According to a study, when we try to repeat something in small intervals, then we are able to retain it, understand it, and use it as compared to the time when we are not trying to repeat something in our daily lives. Life is shaped by our thought patterns. Now, these thought patterns function in the form of neurons. Neurons which get new information, or new information get the pattern of neurons, which ultimately help the brain to retain it. We are able to remember certain information because we are listening to that particular information from our childhood. That is why the childhood memories are very prominent inside our heads. So it is advisable that all of us should try the concept of repetition. Now again, if we talk about repetition in collaboration with self-explanation, then the combination is really going to give you great results. Whenever we repeat something and try to explain the concept to ourselves, then we are again forcing our brain to remember that particular concept. Whatever we repeat daily stays with us, and whatever we do not repeat daily, it doesn't stays with us. If I have to learn a particular skill like playing guitar or any new language, then I have to be consistent, and I have to follow a particular pattern which is ultimately dominated by the act of repetition. Now, repetition can help you in improving your pronunciation. For example, that you are repeatedly listening to certain podcast or listening to any channel, any medium which will help you to get proper pronunciation, then you have to do it every day in a set pattern so that you are able to retain it and ingrain it inside your mind and make it your habit, your purpose of speaking. Same goes with vocabulary. If you want to retain your vocabulary, then you have to revise it daily. Revision is again a form of repetition. That is why I am emphasizing on repetition, because when you will repeat particular words, particular sentences, particular pronunciation, particular speaking pattern, if you will consistently follow particular actions, then you will definitely be able to understand a particular language. Whenever we try to study the lives of great successful men or great successful individuals, we are able to observe or decipher that there are few actions which are common in all of them, and one of them is repetition. Repetition is basically the game changer. It also symbolizes discipline. It also portrays how disciplined you can be, because if you are disciplined, then you are repeating the activities which are going to yield you productive results. You can try and find repetitive opportunities or opportunities which can help you in repeating set patterns or set procedures. For example, while eating, you can try to repeat few sentences. While doing certain kind of physical activity like walking, yoga, or whatever activity suits you, you can try and learn pronunciation. You can also try to listen to new vocabulary. You can also try to read new vocabulary. You can also try to observe new vocabulary. For example, if you encounter any unknown object, then you can just try to Google, or you can just try to ask someone, what is that unknown object, what is the name of that unknown object, and this way you will gain one vocabulary. Do this, it's not that tough, it's just the matter of habits, and habits are again repeated. So I will suggest that try to inculcate the habit of repetition if you want to excel in your particular goal. Use repetition in your conversation practice. Whenever you are trying to talk to someone, you can try to purposefully use the same phrases, same slangs again and again, so that you are able to retain it and it gets imbibed in your memory as a long-term memory, not as a short-term memory. Try to do this, because when you will follow this procedure, you will be able to surpass certain dimensions which will stop you from learning any new language. Or do repetition, because it will help you to reinforce new information. It will help you to reinforce your brain to act in a particular manner. If you really want to do something, then you have to follow repetition, because it will change the dynamics of your situation. It will help you to move forward. Now initially it can look very tough to you. It is tough, repetition is tough, I believe, but as the time is going to pass, you will definitely see that there is a gradual shift which will force you to follow that pattern. And when you will see improvement in your speaking, then definitely you are going to follow repetition with all enthusiasm and with all confidence. Now, this was a short video in which I tried to tell you something about the power of repetition. Now, I am certainly going to make second video on power of repetition. Until then, I wish you all the best. Have a nice day.